Here's what folks are saying about the local on Jack's Bro Pie.
I like the eggs because it kind of got the yellow stuff in it that pops out.
So tell me, how was your experience at the local?
Great.
Good food, good service, and you don't go away hungry.
But don't just take their word for it. Check it out for yourself under new ownership and management, the local on Jack's Bro Pie. You know, we've all got that happy place, don't we? You don't have a care in the world, no aches or pains, and for that moment, you don't worry about what's going on in your world. There's a place that can take you there, your own personal happy place. You're welcome, Massage Therapy. You walk right in and let Laura take you to your own personal happy place. You're welcome, Massage Therapy at 113 Ridner Lane in Jack's Bro. 423-377-1124.
Hello everyone, I want to welcome you to JC TV tonight. Our guest is Joey St. John, co-pastor of, is it the Hope and Stand?
Hope and Stand.
Hope and Stand. Is it a church or fellowship or community center?
It's a church.
Church, okay. So Hope and Stand Church. And Joey St. John is co-pastor with
Pastor Billy Smith.
Billy Smith. So you can remember that, and we'll, of course, here on the screen, you're going to see their contact information. But tonight we're going to talk about Common Grounds. And a lot of people still don't know, Joey, that you all have a coffee shop in downtown La Follette that's called Common Grounds. So I'm going to let him just explain a little bit to you about the coffee shop and when it started, that type of thing. So just go ahead, Joey.
Yeah. Well, Common Ground is a coffee shop in downtown La Follette, and it is kind of, I guess the vision came from Hope and Stand to bring this coffee shop into our community. It is a regular business, just like Starbucks or K-Brew or Remedy Coffee in Knoxville. We have the locally roasted coffee. It's anywhere from Guatemala coffee, Costa Rica. We have the espresso. We have the lattes, cappuccinos, and we also have frozen drinks. We have the frappes and smoothies. So it is a legit coffee shop. We have some desserts, cupcakes, and specialty pastries, and then we hope to add lunch here in the near future.
Wow. Okay. So it's just kind of building as you go along.
Yes.
Because I know I've brought two of my grandchildren here already. They said, "Oh, let us go to the coffee shop. That's just the coolest thing to them."
Yeah.
And and we enjoyed it. The frappes were really good. And so did this kind of come about as an outreach type of business?
The whole building here, which is called Common Ground, it's owned by the church, and it is kind of like an outreach ministry. There's a lot of things take place out of this building besides just the coffee shop. But the coffee shop was just something we wanted to kind of give back to the community, to kind of revitalize and provide a positive vibe down here in downtown La Follette. La Follette gets sometimes a little bad reputation, and some business has gone out,
right,
and just a lot of inactivity. So we just wanted to brighten up our community, and so the coffee shop is part of that. given back into the community for people to enjoy that. But also, we have a room that you can rent and do birthday parties. But we also use this building for ministries, like we did a Thanksgiving dinner here on Thanksgiving Day.
Wow.
So people gave up their time to come here and do that. We also have a small group out of our church that partners with other churches. New Horizon is one of our main partners, where we go out and we bring food here, but we take it out here in the community and serve it. So it's kind of a hub for a lot of things.
Wow.
We also have a lot of small groups here, several nights a week that meet here. Some of our youth small groups meet here, married couples, and just regular Bible studies. So we want this to be a common ground for the whole community.
Wow.
And it has a lot of different things that it serves.
Wow. See, there was a lot of that I didn't know.
Yeah.
I had asked in general questions, and found out what church it was that, was doing this. And of course, the write-up in the press, that helped to get people aware that you were here. But a lot of that I didn't know. I didn't know that y'all was partnering with other churches. See, I love that.
Yeah.
That is just like right up my alley. I love to see churches come together, working together as the body of Christ, and reaching out into the community where they are. Not that the separate projects that they work on isn't helpful and good, because it is. But when we come together, I think it's more powerful.
Yeah.
There's a bigger impact on our community when we can come together as one, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different churches that come together to do that. And just like when they had the prayer over at the, which is now the rec center, which was the old Westfall School, we had a dozen or more churches that were represented there during that prayer time. And I thought it was just so awesome. So anytime that I see a project going on in our community, I'm nosy.
Yeah.
I'm a nosy Christian for Christ, because I want to find out what they're doing and who's working it, what they're hoping to accomplish, because I want other people to know about it. I want our community to know about it, and I want other churches to know, so maybe they can hook up and offer, volunteer time or donations or whatever that is needed to help that church that's trying to get this going. I think it's a great thing.
There's too much to do in our community to try to really take on some of these things by ourselves.
Right.
And so we believe in partnering with other people. And like I said, we just want this to be a facility where people can, it can be kind of a light in the city where a lot of good things are taking place. And you may not know about it. You see the coffee shop, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of other things that are taking place.
Right. And I just love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love seeing things happening in our community. And like you said at the beginning, Campbell County gets a lot of bad news, bad reputation about things. And I'm finding out that the more positive that you are about your community, and the more upbeat you try to be, and the more good that you try to reveal to people, the better that it makes us as a whole. I know there's a lot of negative things, but there's a lot of negative things everywhere. If you dig deep enough, you're going to find that there's negative in every city or town that you go into. There's something negative. But focusing on the positive is what helps, I feel like, bring people closer as a community and aware of the good things that's going on. You want to inspire people to continue to live here and to raise their children here and their grandchildren here, because it's a good place. And so we want to try to point that out. Volunteers, so most of your work that's done here is by volunteer people, is that?
That is, most of the coffee shop is separate. We do have some people who are paid employees, because when you want someone here at 6:30 in the morning, and you have certain hours we need covered.
Right.
So we do have some young people that are paid, and
That's good, though. It gives them a
something to do,
incentive to.
and they're kind of seeing what we're trying to do in the community, and it's kind of a growing experience for them, and it gives them ownership to see something positive happen. But we
great.
also, the benefit of the churches, we do have a lot of volunteers, and if we do have a busy day, like the Christmas parade, we have people that can come in and help keep the bathrooms clean and mop and do the extra things without that overhead and all that expense.
Right, that's great.
But all our outreach ministries, those are done through the church, and those are all voluntary.
Right.
Volunteers that take place of that. We call them our
Right.
dream team. So
Oh, that's pretty
proud of
good.
them.
Dream team, I like that. So when exactly did the coffee shop Common Grounds open?
It opened October 14th on the day of the ATV festival.
Oh,
So
it'll be a year this October. Is
yes,
that correct? Okay.
So we've been open about a half a year, and it was the opportunity. Our heart was to do something in the downtown area, and we throwed around a lot of different things, and people had mentioned the coffee shop, especially a lot of the younger generation enjoy the coffee shop. So we were just kind of praying and planning, and all of a sudden we felt like stepping out and seeing if there was an opportunity for us to do something in our community,
Right.
specifically in downtown La Follette.
Right.
And then this just kind of happened. We actually purchased the building on August 1st. We had 21 days of prayer at church, so we didn't disrupt that. So that was almost the end of August before we really got into the construction. But in about 7 or 8 weeks, we remodeled and had the coffee shop open.
Wow, that's awesome.
So we had all that was done pretty much volunteer work.
Right.
And
it's beautiful, I can tell you. I mean, it's just gorgeous. If you've not been here, you need to come and visit. You need to come buy a coffee or a latte or a cappuccino or something and contribute. But look at the building, because y'all have done, to me, an amazing job with it. I think it's just beautiful.
Very creative. We just, we didn't know anything about the coffee business. So we went to Knoxville and we called people and visited coffee shops, met with people, and just really learned and prayed. And it's really funny. We actually met a pastor in Claxton that had bought a coffee shop off UT campus.
Wow.
And he's owned that for a few years, and he actually is a roaster. So he roasts coffee, and he owns a coffee shop. So he was able to provide our coffee, quality roasted coffee. That's a lot of our coffee, the same coffee that's sold on Market Square in downtown La Follette. Downtown Knoxville, we sell
Right.
here in La Follette.
Wow.
That's the same guy that roasted it. And so he was able to give us a lot of information, helped us find our supplies. He actually sent a manager up here from his store to train us.
Wow.
So it was really, God really sent people our way to really help us. We had a vision to make our community better. We had the concept of the coffee shop. We just kind of stepped out in faith. And here we are. Okay, we started this coffee shop, but we don't know anything about coffee. But the Lord sent someone our way to help us.
And that's just like God, though. When you have the heart and the vision, then he makes all the steps take place.
Yes.
And he provides everything that you're going to have for the purpose of what you're doing. And in our community here in downtown La Follette, we've seen a lot of businesses come, a lot of businesses go. And when you look at all the empty buildings, it kind of, makes you feel like, well, what can we do? How can we, bring anything into, which, a lot of that is, of course, your council's job and all that, to try to recruit businesses into your town or into your city. And I know that they've done a lot of things to try to entice people to come to downtown La Follette. But I've seen a little bit of a different viewpoint, I guess, now than what it was, I want to say 5-6 years ago. I've seen a couple of things take place that to me was positive. And for one, of course, the restore for Habitat Humanity is down here. You all opened up the coffee shop and filled this building that was once sitting empty.
For 8 years. It was
Right.
empty for 8 years.
Right, and there was nobody here. And the Habitat, the building where they are, which is right next door, I think that building was virtually empty for about the same or more years, even though there was things in there that it wasn't open for business. And then, of course, you know, across the street, we've got some of the older businesses that have been here for a long time, Winders and Lindsay's and the hardware store. And then we have Russell Towers on the corner over there. And so to see more businesses come into our downtown area, I would like to see every building filled and people coming and going, you know. I would love to see that. And that's something that we as Christians can pray for, not only just, you know, the common grounds, but for the community as a whole in downtown Lafayette.
That's correct.
And but back to the common grounds, what do you see, Joey, in the future as far as hoping to expand or add to or incorporate into what you're doing now?
Well, we just want to continue to really create a place in downtown where it gets a lot of positive activity. You know, we have the coffee shop and we're doing some outreach, but we want this to be a place where people can gather with their families. You know, people always talk about we don't have anything in our community for our young people. Well, young people like coffee shops, and
They do.
and now they have this opportunity, and we would just like for people to use it.
Right.
You know, youth groups bring their youth down here on a Friday evening. You don't have to say you don't have anywhere to go because you have somewhere to go now.
Right.
And you know, we have the park right outside,
Exactly.
out this side
Yeah.
door here.
Yeah.
And we want to just see like positive activity taking place.
Right.
We'll probably, once the weather warms up, we'll probably do some cornhole tournaments. Maybe do some, once we get some traffic down here and people get used to coming downtown, maybe do Friday night barbecues.
Right.
And maybe you put a movie up on the side of the wall.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
And, you know, just create a place that is positive.
Right.
And as Christians, we either let our light shine. If we don't let our light shine, then that's when darkness comes in.
That's right.
So if there's no activity by the Christians, then the darkness comes in. So we just want to create, you know, this be a place that people can fellowship
Right.
together. And, you know, a lot of times people think if we're going to go out to eat on a Friday night, we go to Knoxville.
Right.
But hopefully you can come downtown. We have a lot of good places. Katie's is open usually a little bit in the evenings on weekends, and the pool room has done a great job remodeling. So you can get a lot of things here,
Right.
and this is just part of that.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I know that you said earlier that you all partnered with other churches and doing things. So if there's a church out there that would like to make a contribution, or any individual even, they can contact the church, or
Yes, or just see
or just
someone
bring
here.
it by here.
Yeah, just come by Common Ground, and the thing is if someone made a donation, they would make it to the church,
Right.
and that would go all for outreach ministry.
Right.
You know, the coffee shop is set up and it sustains
Right.
itself, and we're not going to make a lot of money off of it because
Right.
we try to have a lot of help, and we do things with a lot of quality. But you know, you can always help to sponsor some type of events or do something here in the community.
Right. And this is a putting back into the community effort on the part of y'all's church, the Hope and Stand. And by doing positive things, you can usually get positive feedback.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you'll see results coming back to you. And I just love it. I love the idea. If anybody wants to, of course, utilize your building for their get-together, for their youth group at church, or ladies' meeting, or men's meeting, or prayer service, or breakfast, or lunch, or whatever, then they will get in touch with, of course, the information's on the screen of who you call, and I'm sure that in booking, is there kind of you prefer to have it
Yeah.
ahead of time?
Yeah. And some of we rent the back room out for certain parties, for private parties and birthday parties and things. You know, there is a cost for that because there is upkeep
Right.
and just
Right.
mopping and cleaning and taking out the
Exactly.
garbage. But you know, the coffee shop we have a big, what we call family tables. They could seat up to 8, 10 people. We have a couch and a couple of chairs where you can bring groups down here and do informal meetings, and there's no cost for that.
Right. Just, of course, the purchase of your drinks.
Yes, yeah.
So we want you to buy your cappuccinos or your frappes or coffee or even your bottled water and contribute and put back into the coffee shop when you come. But there's no charge to use that facility.
Yes.
As far as that, but if you want to rent the back room for private parties or get-togethers or whatever, then there would be a charge for that.
Yeah, and we have great Wi-Fi here. You know, we have a 60-inch TV hooked up. We have a sound system that's available. And, you know, we'd like to see some music, maybe summer music,
Right.
concert series. You know,
Yeah.
something like that
Yeah.
takes place. So we don't want to do all that, but we'd like to be you know, kind
Right.
of, we're kind of setting the stage, and other people who maybe have dreams
See,
and
that's
visions,
awesome.
you know, this is available to them. Because I
Right.
can't sing and I can't play music,
Well,
but
see-
I love to see people just get together and have a good
Yeah,
time.
amen, amen. That's what
Yeah.
it's all about. And actually, David and I were talking several weeks ago about how that now that summer's coming and spring is almost here and summer will be here, he has several musicians and stuff that, you know, we used to do the downtown ministry,
Yeah.
and it was actually called Downtown Praise,
Yeah.
and we did it for 4 years in the parking lot in the back. And it's just praise and worship.
Yeah.
And so he was talking about how that it would be nice to get back out there and do a little bit for the
Yeah.
community. So that's something that we can look forward to and maybe get people interested in that.
Yeah. And you know, there's endless possibilities. You know, I think we're starting a Bible study for business.
Wow, that's
people.
awesome.
So we have some people who are involved in business, and this is a convenient location for a lot of people down in
Yeah.
this area. So they're going to have a Bible study. I think they're going to start in May. Be like 7 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
So they can get here and have a little Bible study once a week, and then go to work. So like I said, it's just, we're looking for, you know, we're just looking to use this place.
Right.
We want this to be a hub where a lot of positive things are
Right.
taking place.
And I think it will be. I think the more that it gets out there and the more that people realize that you're here, you know, and what you have to offer, I think you're gonna get a good return because you're sowing in good ground
Yes,
at the common ground.
yes.
Well, Joey, I want to thank you for taking the time
You're welcome.
with us on JCTV just to let us know a little more about what you're doing downtown. And we appreciate it so much. And if there's ever any future events, anything that comes up, you know, just give us a call and we'll come and put you a little plug in there and do something to promote it. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all next week.
Here's what folks are saying about the local on Jacksboro Pike.
I like the eggs because it kind of got the yellow stuff in it that pops out.
Now tell me, how was your experience at the law school?
Great. Good food, good service, and you don't go away hungry.
But don't just take their word for it. Check it out for yourself under new ownership and management, the local on Jacksboro Pike. You know, we've all got that happy place, don't we? You don't have a care in the world, no aches or pains, and for that moment, you don't worry about what's going on in your world. There's a place that can take you there, your own personal happy place. You're welcome, Massage Therapy. You walk right in and let Laura take you to your own personal happy place. You're welcome, Massage Therapy at 113 Ridner Lane in Jacksboro. 423-377-1124.